Jeff Furner, and I live right here on the corner of Jarvisville Road, Route 31, and US Route 50. I own 6.98 acres. I live across from East Resources. So
that's the East Resources field there, right?
yes, that is
Storage
correct.
field.
That is your yard. We just recently changed it because they tore down a whole bunch of old buildings and rearranged it. And I don't know if that's a new compressor station or not because I never could see it before. So, and believe it or not, it does. It looks like it's a mess now, but it kind of looks, in one way, it looks better than it did before, and the other way, it doesn't. So,
Looks permanent.
yeah. Well, used to they had the buildings, but they didn't have all that stuff laying all over the place. So, and before, I don't know if it's the buildings or not, but you couldn't hear the station as much. But it still vibrated.
This is 24 hours a day.
Oh yeah, yeah. And
About how long have they been here, Jeff?
oh, they've been here longer than I've lived here,
Okay.
and I've been here 18 or 19 years. So.
18, 19 years.
But just recently, in the last 6 months, they've started with all
Yes.
the construction.
Well, about a year ago, they started drilling wells all over. They drill wells. Well, matter of fact, I just found out from Rick Siders that the last 2 wells they drilled, they angle drilled under us. So that's what Rick just told me last weekend. So
Yeah, it's silly, but they based it on a 16th century English law called the rule of capture.
yeah,
It's amazing that our 21st century laws are based
Yeah.
on something that far back that
Well,
really...
Rick said that they did a study on it, and by the time they would come over here and drill on us, they'd have to buy our land or do this, fix the road, and get the right of way, and change all. Or they already have right of ways. By the time they went through dealing with all of us, it was just easier for them to set up over there and drill underneath us and get it
Okay.
that way. And I'm glad they did.
Yeah.
I'd rather for them to do it than to come over here, you know. So,
Except if they're going to collapse the ground under our houses.
yes, that's
Not
right.
too
Well,
happy
what's
about
bad
that.
about angle drilling is when you drill into a rock, if you, like your house, for example, sits on a big stone, okay, and that stone might go down 500 feet. Well, by the time they start, if depends on what angle they start in and where they turn, you know, they drill 4 or 5 wells. They're actually creating what would you call it, a fault line? I don't know if that'd be a fault line, but you know what I'm saying?
I think so, yeah.
When you hammer through limestone rock, which this is, by the way, I want to tell you what, my water that I had before the mine took it out was the best tasting water in the whole entire area, and I can get you proof of that. It was awesome, delicious, clear water out of limestone shell. So it was good water. But the shell, when I replaced my water lines and dug into it, I got into was a blue shell rock.
Blue shell rock.
Yeah, it was good too. Water out of it was good. But anyway, anytime they drill, and they just didn't do one drill. Well, if you'll go up here and look, you'll see them all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, and they're still drilling. And the way I understand it, they're going to keep drilling.
Right.
Last year, a bunch of East Resources guys come up here and parked in my driveway and stuff. And my son told me, well, they said that there was a big slip up on the hill. Said their pipeline pulled too. I said, really? I said, wow. So okay. Well, anyway, they were all over my house. Well, anyway, right about the time that slip came in, I noticed my garage was moving. Now my garage had problems originally when the guy before me built it, because when he put the road behind it, and he ran a dozer in there and he put too much weight on the wall. So he went in and supported it with a beam. It has never moved since. Well, to be on the safe side for me, I went in and built a wall, a supporting wall, and put plywood on it in this hole through the center of my garage and made a room. Well, when that slip came in from all this, whatever's moving, whatever's causing all this to move, I noticed that I went in my garage right after that, and I pulled my drawer out to get fittings out of my drawer. Couldn't get my drawer back shut. So I got to looking, all my cabinets are all in, and my whole wall, everything, my whole garage, the whole faces. Then I noticed my sidewalk right in front of my garage buckled. I said, uh-oh, that's not good.
That hasn't been that long ago,
No,
has it?
that was just last year. So that was, but anyway, one of the reasons I think that all this is happening, there's 2 reasons. One of them is they've deep mined too close to us. And not that I've ever heard them, although I did feel them when they blasted a mine entrance because they rocked the earth over here. That may have made a difference then. this station running vibrated so terribly. And this steel wheel, I can set you a cup of coffee on my counter right up there now, and you can watch weights in the water on the cup. Unless they've changed it in the last few weeks. So, but matter of fact, I called my neighbors and told them, I emailed you and told you, and they did it. Rick Siders did it, and it works. They said, oh, they never realized it was that bad. But I had a picture. My father-in-law takes old windows out of like houses like that right there, takes the old windows, and he takes out the glass, and he cleans them all up and puts mirror back in them and stains them. They look really sharp. And he's made it for all the grandkids. Well, the one he made for Sheila is a rounded top mirror, and it hangs on my living room wall. And I kept hearing this noise all the time. Oh, and my gosh, it's driving me crazy. So when I come to find out what it was the glass in that mirror. All the glasses were vibrating from that station running. So we stuck things in it, and eventually we just took it off the wall. So, but yeah, we set a cup of water right down on the counter, and that water vibrates. So now, does that have anything to do with all these houses falling over the hill? I'm sure constant vibration has something to do with it. So, especially with them drilling the wells. Now, you should have been here when they drilled the wells. Oh my gosh, they shook. I mean, they shook it bad. And,
I couldn't sleep.
Oh no, even the noise was loud. It was loud inside the houses.
How much time did that take for them to drill the well? How much did it affect you?
It's just off and on several months. I couldn't tell you exactly how. They might take 30 days on one well, or 2 weeks, or whatever. You know, I should have logged all this, what I should have done. But I just figured myself, if something happened, I'd be fighting a losing battle anyway. So, actually, my wife and I had already talked about trying to sell out of here. I offered East Resources my property, but they never come back with me. So.
Okay, Jeff, you seem to know a lot about the tending of wells and.
Yes, that's exactly right. I work for Dominion, and actually, I am a well tender, and my job is. I don't take just care of gas wells. I take care of mostly Dominion's oil wells. I have pumping jacks, lift systems, EDI plunger lift systems, and that's why I do know a little bit about gas wells. And another thing that they have now is I take care of 3 compressors. I did have 5 at the most, but I take care of 3 compressors they have on gas. Matter of fact, I got the order when I was a backup warehouseman. And but when they tore all these buildings down, that station you hear running right there, I could smell spent gas. The odor was so strong that everybody that came to my house said, "What's that smell? What's that smell? It smells like gas." And I said, "Well, it kind of is gas. It's spent gas. It's gas that's been used." They said, "Carbon monoxide?" And I said, "Yeah, but you can't smell it." I said, "Oh, yes, you can. You know, not all carbon monoxide is odorless. You know, I mean, if it's mixed rich, then sure." And you know that those stations, they're probably not regulated. You know, like, I'm sure you can probably do it, but, so anyway, I did call them, and they told me that the smell I was smelling was not, and could not be, exhaust from their station. I said, "Well, I'm just going to tell you this, when you start it up, I smell it." So, but anyway, and a couple of days later, I didn't smell it, you know, as much. I still do smell it sometimes. But he tried to tell me that it was gas coming out of those tanks right down there. I don't know if you can see those tanks or not. There's 2 big gray 150 barrel tanks. Step over here and you can see it. The ladder's coming up to it there. They told me, and you see the top's open on it and the stick sticking out of it?
Yeah.
Wrong. Can't do that. Matter of fact, I see one vent that's open to the atmosphere. There's no, I can't think what it's called. They have a filter on them. It's supposed to, like a charcoal filter, it's supposed to filter out. It's a spark arrestor. Is what it is. Flame arrestor. But anyway, he told me the smell was coming from those tanks. It was raw natural gas, where everything was feeding wide open into these tanks. They were just flowing them, I guess, from the wells. Instead of the gas going into producing it, they were just letting it blow free. So now that may have been a little bit of both. So.
Go right ahead.
What I was saying was when they drill those wells, like for 4,000 foot deep, for example, like about a Benson, or yeah, I'd be about a Benson, sand, then they'll shove water and sand, frac sand, down in the ground at a high pressure and shove it back in the ground. And then, of course, they extract the water, comes back out. But the sand, they recommend that kids not play with it because it's a real sharp sand, and it will cut you. But that sand is the reason they use that sand is so when it goes out into all those crevices and cracks, is when the water comes back out and the ground starts coming back down, it sticks open so the gas can come out. The fluid stuff can pass through it, and that's
Excellent.